Well, it's 6 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. If Shad can lead us in prayer.
Let's all bow our heads before we. Father, we're thankful for another day that you've given us and allowed us to enjoy. We're thankful for all of your blessings, your mercy, your grace, for your love. Lord, we're thankful for each and every one that's come out this way tonight and to take part in this meeting. Father, we pray that you would be with each and every one that has business here tonight. Lord, we pray, God, that all things might be done in accordance to thy will, Lord, for your honor and glory. Lord, pray that you would be with the decision makers tonight, God, that you would guide them, that you would give them the wisdom and the knowledge that they need to do the business, Lord, to honor and glorify you and for the good of the city of Cumming and Forsyth County. Lead, God, direct us in all things we do. And all these things we ask in the name of Jesus, and we do love you. Amen.
Amen. Amen. If everyone can join us in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda is to consider the agenda for adoption. There are a few changes. Item 6, acknowledgement for Officer Tyler Burns will need to be postponed to another meeting. He's out arresting somebody right now and can't be here. So we need to delete that. Under new business, item D, we need to add Sinclair Station lease. And item E, under new business, Pine Lake Drive speed control measures. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Please vote. Carries 4-0 with Lewis Ledbetter absent. Do what? So next is item 5, to consider for adoption the following meeting minutes. Item A, called joint meeting with Forsyth County Commissioners April 15th, 2019. Do I have a motion? Please vote. Carries 4-0. Item B, regular council meeting April 16th, 2019.
Motion approved.
Please vote. Carries 4-0. Item C, executive session meeting April 16th, 2019.
Second.
Please vote. Carries 4-0. Next is item 7, old business. Item A, administration, the Veterans War Memorial.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the purpose of this item is to, one, rescind the previous action to tear down the existing monument that we took at the previous council meeting, and two, to approve the emergency repair cost to repair the existing monument. I don't have a total amount at this time, as repairs are still being made. Haven't got all the bills in on that yet, but this was not a budgeted item, and we'll have to fund this out of our contingency fund. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
So an update on the memorial. The memorial, the foundation was not adequately done. The top, the concrete had no steel reinforcement in it. It filled dirt under it. That settled, slab cracked, monument caved in. So we had to go in and tear all that off, pour a new slab with steel reinforcements in it. And then because we couldn't get the same type finish, we put stacked stone back over it, and they've built it all back. The only thing left is the street department, or one of our other departments, to put the bronze pieces back on. We're able to take all those off, and they'll be able to go right back to the way it was.
I have a question. Is that area not real wet because of that underground stream?
It's not a matter of that. It's the way they built it. They poured foundation walls around the edges. Then they put fill dirt in it. Okay? So then they poured a slab on top, but there was no steel reinforcement. So when that dirt settles and compacts, which all fill dirt will, if there'd have been the proper steel reinforcement in it, it wouldn't have mattered. The dirt could have settled and it would have stayed up and it would have never moved. You know, a bigger problem is when we were out there with the crews working on it, the foundation walls that are holding it up, the concrete's just crumbling. I mean, I was on Channel 2. I could take my hand and peel off chunks of concrete on the foundation wall. I mean, it's just, it's coming apart. But, so before there used to be 2 steps on each side to go up to that upper level. We didn't put those back because the concrete that would have been sitting on, that's settling too. And then the level below that, it's settling too. I mean, there's no fixing it without tearing it completely down and starting over. It's a Band-Aid, but we put it back together. The part that we put back will stay as long as the foundation walls don't crumble, but I'm not satisfied that won't happen over time. But that's kind of where we're at with it. So it'll be back, be presentable. They went in and fixed all the loose tiles. You know, that was the only thing that we knew something was going on because of all the loose tiles and that kind of stuff. But, you know, 3 weeks before it finally fell in, you know, that's when it became a bigger issue. But, so that part, it's been repaired back right now. Over time, it's just gonna keep getting worse. The part that just got fixed, that part will probably stay. But there's other parts of the whole deal that are just gonna be a decision to be made in the future, whether it's to tear it all down and start over, move it, whatever, but as of right now, it's been fixed back. So everything will be good to go for Memorial Day. And it'll be back pretty close to what it was before. So we just need a motion to approve the emergency repair.
Make a motion to approve the repairs.
Do we need a motion to rescind the previous action? Not on tearing it all down, then. Okay.
Just a motion to approve what we did.
Okay. We're good.
Let's make the motion to approve what's been done. Yep.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Please vote. Carries 4-0. Next is item B, planning and zoning, number 1, annexation of 2019-102 Moss Walker.
Mr. Mayor, I don't know if you want to, just to give you a brief synopsis. Of course, it was presented to you last month. We had the hearing on it. We were prepared to act on the annexation and rezoning. There were a list of 15 conditions that the applicant had submitted. There was an issue with condition number 1, which was the percent of masonry materials. I think they had proposed 75%, and you had mentioned about maybe 100%. You'd asked the applicant's attorney at that time if they were willing to go with 100%, and they had to check with their client. I think there's obviously been discussion since that last meeting. They have submitted a letter, which I'll basically read that letter, and the applicant's attorney is here. I don't believe the applicant is here, but the letter would confirm that exterior finished material design would be for the front side and brick walls masonry to the cornice with small stucco accents, the gables, dormers, columns, and doors and window trim. And then the interior courtyard walls will be 65 to 75% masonry, brick and stone, and 25 to 35% accent material stucco. So I don't know if you want to discuss that any further, or the applicant's attorney wants to add anything to that. But that apparently was the only issue. In addition to those 15 conditions, the staff had recommended the condition that the build-out would occur in 36 months. And I believe they were in agreement with that. So I think we're at the point now just if we're ready to vote on it or to have any further discussion on it before vote.
Mr. Mayor, I need to announce recusal for potential conflict.
Is there any other questions or discussion? I have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Please vote. Carries 3-0 with Christopher Light recusing. Next is item 2, annexation 2019-106, Mashburn Family Trust.
Again, Mr. Mayor, this item was also, we had a public hearing on it last month. It's for approximately an acre of land out on Dahlonega Highway. There was some discussion about an additional condition. I believe Councilman Crane had mentioned an additional condition about cleaning the property up. The only condition that the staff had recommended approval of the annexation and rezoning and submitted that any changes in the land use would be approved by the mayor and council. So again, unless there's any further discussion necessary, I think we're at the point where we can take a vote on this annexation and rezoning.
The only thing I want to add, and Scott, I know we've talked about it, is this, I think our process should be reversed where the zonings and stuff, applications come to the work session and then we take an action. Hold a public hearing at the regular meeting and then more prepared to take an action at the regular meeting.
That's already been addressed.
Okay, I didn't know if we had to have a formal process for that.
That's what we're planning on doing from this point forward.
Any questions or discussion?
Yeah, I want to say something. When I had questioned it before, I actually that night drove out to the property and looked at it. And from the last time I was out there, it's like night and day. It looks a lot different than the first time I was out there. And that was probably over a year ago. So yeah, I think it looks great. I mean, it doesn't have nothing like I thought it was.
I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Please vote. Carries 4-0. Next is item 8, new business. Item A, IT simple presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. Well, I'll start with this. A lot of people asking me, are you Ron Freeman? My answer would always be, depends who's asking. So I am the other Ron Freeman. I know the Ron Freeman here in Georgetown. A great guy. I would like to thank Mayor, council members, Jason, city manager, Shad, the people that help out to actually bring me here today. I'm honored to share with you IT Simple. I'm the founder. The company was established specifically in order to better connect city and community. That's what we do, and basically what we do, we serve local government under a civic tech solution. So I have, my presentations normally doesn't have a lot of words, more pictures, and I'll go right to actually demonstrate some of the, not some, but I'll demonstrate the platform and what we do in order to show in reality how things look. So everything starts with a story. Nowadays, there is more movement towards better engagement, better involvement. And a lot of stories really start with people moving from one place to another. There's a lot of changes, work, take you to different places. And today, even my company started with my own story. I relocated. We're a Georgia-based company. I thought at the beginning just me, but a lot of people here are moving from one state to another. They get guests from different states, from different towns. And when you actually move to a new community, so it's all about settling down, right? To find the essential, the schools, the neighborhoods, neighbors, restaurants, local businesses, events, you name it. Thing is, the challenge for me, this is basically was really there's so many tools out there today. I just didn't know where to start. Social media is there, not everybody is there. There are too many tools, one website, so what do? You just Google stuff. That's what all of us are doing today, right? You Google. you get results. These are actually my actual daughters. I was, back in the days I used to run, I was looking for a track so I can run. I get different results. One has a number, the other one doesn't. One has an address, the other one doesn't. So who do you trust? Where do you go? So many tools, so many different places to look at. And in many times, there are a lot of this information and data is not even data. So today, we're actually living in a world where everything is supposed to be, we want things to get done, and we want it fast. So at least to me, it was all about speed, but as we know, just like in race cars or every other area in our life, as we go faster, it doesn't matter if we, drive or whatever we do, it's harder to maintain control, right? So to me, it was really how do I engage with my community and local government in a quick and efficient way that I can really trust. In my background, but it's just, I don't think I'm just representing myself, and I'll touch more around that, next generations, my daughters, my family. But not all of us are using the same tool or the same resources in order to get updated. But I guess most of us, if it will be up to us, we live, work, and commute, unless, work actually takes us other places, 5-10 miles radius from where we live. So speed today is really mobile. These are the stats. I mean, in some of my presentations, I ask some of the people in the crowd and say, do you know what's the percentage of people in the United States today that use pretty much everything on mobile? They socialize, they shop, they learn, they date, they navigate, they pretty much everything. So the numbers are that currently, or basically in 2 years from now, that's going to pass 80%. And this is a very big number. Some people I speak with will say 90, 100, but basically this is around 80%. And control, to me, in today's world is really privacy. I guess all of us are hearing the news, all of us are hearing what's going on around us. There's a lot of concerns around that. And yet, we're still using a lot of technology or a lot of tools out there without even, it's called unintended in my world. We don't even know in most cases what are we giving away. How in some cases we are actually becoming the product of some large corporates out there. And I saw that as a challenge. I wanted to connect it all. I not certainly wanted to, I would leverage social media and stuff for certain things, but not all the things. But I did know one thing. I knew that I want to connect with my community, to know where's the local medical providers. Sometimes people have neighbors, they moved here from New York City, others moved from Boston, others moved from Texas. They don't have Kroger there. For them, pharmacy might be Winn-Dixie. So in many cases, we say, hey, I know what's around me, but there are many times that we are not really aware of all the alternatives here. And for us, we just wanted to connect it all under under the hat of the city. So municipalities or government or local government used to communicate with their community in multiple ways along the history. To me, I call it the speed gouge, right? This was slow, and here we are moving to do things faster. So back in the days, everything was on the newspapers that we had. Later on, email was introduced, right? So communities or local government and us actually started to send emails one to another. But that wasn't fast enough. As we evolved, newsletters started. So that's another way, but not fast enough. And now everything is online. Everything are websites and stuff, but here's the challenge. Websites in many cases doesn't cover the need of mobility. There are certain functions as integrated with your GPS, with making things more efficient and quick to use, that website will not serve. Because everybody knew that the king, basically, in communications, in that perspective, is really mobile. Everything runs on mobile. Mobility, municipalities, in order to catch up with the speed and with maintaining control, being mobile a complicated IT challenge in that perspective, took leverage, which made a lot of sense on the social media platforms. So they got the speed in a way. But this is actually where they lost control, right? To me, control means a lot of things. Some of that will be government started to face, privacy concerns. Registration, nowadays with all the scandals that we are hearing in the media, every website, whatever we're trying to do online that asks for our email, we're starting to think, hey, why do they ask that from me? What do they want? So registration are actually becoming more and more a wall. More and more people doesn't want to register. They don't know what actually the companies or the organization are following when they register somewhere. Users on social media in many cases cannot mute certain channels or types of content. Or even if they can, since they are following so many different things, they're just losing what they really want to follow, which is in most cases, you do want to know what's going on in town. You do want to know how your tax money is being used. Elected officials here, they do want to share their achievements with us. I think, and I can share multiple personal stories. You can drive through the same pothole every day, right? But all you can see when you drive to work is the same pothole every day. So you complain, you call the city hall, you speak to the city staff and you complain. In most cases, at least in my personal story, you just don't see the bigger picture, right? Where I live, they invest, they spend like millions of dollars on a new arts center, community center, places that my kids are going. So when you actually know the bigger picture, it makes that pothole actually less of, disturbance, if I may say, because now you're more aware, you're more involved. Next generations, by all means. I have a teenager at home. She doesn't even know what Facebook is. They use stuff like GroupMe, Kik, and I can list from Pinterest to Snapchat, stuff that the traditional, at least the names that most of us in this room actually know of, and the younger people doesn't. So it doesn't end with us. It doesn't end with Facebook or Twitter. It will never end, by all means. And not just social media. We are going towards smart cities. Smart cities will introduce more sensors, more apps. Where do you go first? Cities needs their own platform, which, by all means, better to be mobile to leverage all this power and efficiency. Social media doesn't provide control on identities. Yes, sometimes when I speak to many elected officials, to a lot of my friends in city staff, some places, some things they would just not share because they don't know, right? Some cases it's justified, some cases might not be justified, some cases people just read the very first couple of lines, they don't really see the entire story, the entire picture. So we have absolute no control on identities, incoming content, or system changes, by all means, right? Whatever Facebook decides to change something, or Twitter, or social media, or even Android, the moment we pick to use a smartphone or anything in that matter, they decide to change something, we're binded to that specific change. And yes, I just called it the Big Brother. Some people will ask me questions about, I don't know if you know, a lot of us use Venmo as an example. If we're doing some online, they're giving away even what we buy. Not just the name and the email and profiling, everything that we pretty much does, this is what they're giving away. So how do I stay connected with my community? Because I want to know, right? I pay my taxes, I want to know what's going on. I'm part of that community without giving all that things away. So yes, that was just my inspiration to say, I started to make some phone calls, some of my local friends, some of, different states, and I just asked. I called some of the people I know, my connections, and I said, why don't you, or why don't we as a city has a mobile app, right? I want to do things, but I still want to feel secure and safe. So here's some of the answers I've got. Mobile is really complex. I don't know if you're on Android or on your, Apple, but whenever we see the little, this is an Apple example, whenever we see the little badge here, we don't really know what to do. Apple just released 12.12. I know it might not say much to a lot of you guys, but they're changing stuff on the software side of things that might get a lot of things, and other things that we used to do not work or work differently, or changing things for us without really consulting with us in that perspective. Mobile is complicated. There are multiple devices, multiple vendors. You can pick and choose today, right? Multiple operating systems. A lot of people say, hey, there's only, the majority is Android or in iOS. That's true, which is Apple. But Android runs underneath like 4 different flavors of it without being technical at all. So there's a lot of complexity there. App stores, there are like 600 legit stores out there. Not from China, not sporadic stores, but all legit. So that brought this entire complexity was really a challenge for cities. Not all cities are huge. Not all cities have a huge IT department and stuff like that. Infrastructure, software, everything today runs on software. Everything. The vacuum cleaner, the doorbell. There are a few lines of code I even learned when I had a project with one of my friends for the smallest sensor for $15 I bought on Amazon. Everything runs on software. So software needs infrastructure, servers, infrastructure, and technical skill sets. All these things were actually creating challenges for cities. So it's either you have a lot of money, or I just used the oil rig, drilling rig example, or you need to be very technical in order to basically and efficiently connect with your residents or constituents and visitors, by all means. Visitors coming in, it's more money for the city. Everybody, it's prosperity. And this is where we fall in place, right? This is what we do. This is where we play. I started the company to simplify people's everyday's life, and I can speak about that, but it's really to connect city and community. We're serving cities, CVBs, and we have some public safety departments that I can share. All right, that was my slide. So the idea was really, and this is basically our silver bullets. We're technical free, so there's no big or small for us. The city doesn't need servers, it doesn't need technical skills, it doesn't need anything. We are serving smart cities today because as there are a lot of projects around, how do we better or efficiently handling waste? How do we efficiently, some of the services that as a city we're providing to our citizens, how we do it more efficient, because we can leverage technology to be more efficient. For us, we do everything with one platform that I'll show you in a second. We're leveraging push notification as an example. Right? I'll show you some cities that push out real-time alerts. As an example, we're now blocking streets. Why would I drive through the same, main street when I know that there is, a big parade today? The GPS will still lead me there, but if the city actually knows that up front and they can let me know, why won't I leverage that? It's really a powerful platform to connect with the community on mobile in real time, and I'll show in a second. So it all comes to engagement, transparency, awareness, involvement, and actually quality of life. What we've done, as said, we just put it all on the cloud. From the city perspective, no servers, no software, no technical skills necessary by all means. And today I'm here to present to you and demonstrate for you. It's My Town City app. And I'll show you how we are connecting city and community. This is the busiest slide I've got. I try to keep it as quick as possible. So you see there are two community, there are two major, I would say, pillars of value that we provide. It's for constituents, for us, right? So we are looking for something reliable. Right? And normally when you're talking or discussing with your local government, you elected, basically you voted for elected officials, so I tend to trust them. Accessible on mobile, as I just described. I want it to be proactive. I want the information to actually get on my mobile when I need it, so I don't need to look for stuff or waste time in that perspective. I want it to be dated. I want to take actions, and for me taking actions, and I'll show you in a sec, we're integrated with stuff like, if you don't drive, I don't know, if you're, you decide you're not driving, or if you were at the, you were out, and you can't drive, so we're integrated with stuff like Uber and Lyft and car services and stuff that mobile can basically enable without copy pasting stuff. You can do things efficiently and fast. No privacy concerns. The way we built the platform, and this is how we grow even virally without the cities to put much attention into that, because you don't need to register. So we don't know, and the city doesn't know, the local government doesn't know who you are, what's your email, what's your, who your friends are, what's your preferences, nothing. So we don't collect personal information by all means, so that's safe. And I say me, it's the platform, right? It's not we don't collect, it's the city can't. The platform doesn't just allow, but we do collect aggregated data to make things more efficient, but it's not personal. We don't know who the people are. It's great for visitors too. We do see a lot of traffic, some of the cities that, when they're publishing their local events and concerts and festivals, and you name it, we see people just engaging on the app and taking actions based on that content. From the municipality side is really, as I kind of mentioned, the smart cities, more people will talk about sensors and efficiency and smart parking and how we will better, in an efficient way, we're improving our utilities. That type of discussions are starting as we speak. I mentioned privacy in real time, and as I said, it's built for a city to really focus on operating the city. So we're taking all the constraints out of the equation. All right. So as I said, speed and control can be gained, can be reached. This is just one example. No registration needed, and no personal information is collected. So we can really, see the racetrack the way it should be, like this, and not once we, in a way that we lost control. All right, that was my session. I'll just show you some of the real time. That's the idea, right? Presentations are nice, but this is not real life, and I'm here to actually demonstrate what we can do with the platform. Yep. Well, signal. Is that my phone? Nice of you. It's the same. I don't want to demonstrate on the iPad. There's no reason for. I think the screen just shut off. Can you?
The screen shut off?
Yeah. I heard something. Oh, here it is. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, all right. So what we've done, we basically created. We brought. At least in my town, our mayor called it, we put the city in your pocket. We created categories as an example. And I'll show you how powerful the platform is to engage, actually receive content and also push content back to the city. So stuff like from the basics, obviously, people that live here maybe doesn't need this, but you see there are different categories for stuff. So as an example, if I want to see the grocery shopping, and as you see, it works based on proximity. So probably you guys recognize some of the businesses you see here. So it will work anywhere, right? Now let's say, I don't know, I want to see if that supermarket, I want to call them and see what time they're open. No copy paste anymore. I can dial them right now. I want to see if they're carrying, I don't know, one of them that has a website, actually. I want to see if they're carrying that organic bananas that I like. I just hit the button. I'm already at their website. I want to go there, so look at this, right? Word of choices, no copy-paste anymore. I hit the button, let's say I don't drive, so I want to Uber there, English or whatever I picked, right? So it will automatically open Uber for me, and it's going to tell me, you see, It's My Town's going to tell me, how long it's going to take me and how much it's going to cost me, and when my driver's going to be here. So this is just to kind of showcase some of this power. In that case, I'm showing the city of Alfreda. So there are public parking locations. And you can see that distance is actually real. We're like 12 miles away from that parking location. So, when we have events in town, so at least I know, because some of those locations are paid parking lots or private properties that the city pays to the local owners. But, the local owners in some cases they don't publish this information out, so you just don't know, right? So it's all on the app, and as you see, I want to navigate there, so it will automatically open mine now. And this is an Apple device. It will open Google Maps if I like it better, or Waze, and I can be there in minutes. I don't need to go anywhere else. All right. One more thing that I want to show here is really the parks, right? We have Alfreda, right, has a swimming pool, parks, community centers, senior citizen centers. It's all here. I mean, I can find it. I can find the hours. I can go to the website if I need. I can call them and ask questions. I can navigate, and I can even email the city. You see, the email even started for me. I don't need to look elsewhere. It's all on one platform. I didn't copy paste. I didn't look and I didn't Google anything. Right? This is how we're connecting city and community. All right. This is the park and recreation. One request that City of Alfreda had is to put the volunteer and charity. Right? It's all here. One more thing that I'll show here, and I'll keep going. It's pretty quick. I'll show you the restaurant. I think this is one of the impressive ones that I have. You see, so we are a part of just showing this. We also created nice filters. So if you want to get fancy, so I can say, I don't know, let's go American restaurants here, and it just will bring the American restaurants. And as I already showed, it's gonna website's connected, everything's connected. I didn't pick a good one. I don't know. you guys, probably you have your logo. I don't know.
We like the hook.
All right. Okay. So this is the basic, and you can say, Ron, but you talked about government and stuff. But this is actually, did that create value? This is why, because I see a lot of government. I meet with a lot of local governments, and creating services that no one uses doesn't really, at some point, doesn't worth whatever we spend on it. And here we see a lot of activity because people are interacting with the app on regular basis. All right, let's go to the city events and activities. Right? 4th of July, Veteran Days, you name it. It's all here. Right? All of it. All of it. Kids, we have categories. We can search for free events. Pow. Right? We can do stuff like, all right, I think I like this rodeo, right? Or this, I don't know, 4th of July is coming, whatever, but let's just pick one, right? I want to save it, so now it will automatically save to my calendar. Just like any business person that I know there. And you know how I got this feature done? Because my daughter told me once, hey Dad, I want to go see Touch a Truck. They're climbing on the police cars and the fire department and whatnot. But normally, where do you hear about or receive that type of information? Newspaper, you're busy, you didn't put it on your phone, you have no reminders, I forgot, and then I need to deal with my daughter telling her, why Dad forgot, and that was this Sunday. Now you guys tell me. And it's all here. It will copy automatically all the information from that event to your calendar. Now, if we want to invite another friend from Foresight, so as you can see, I can WhatsApp, text, I don't know, Twitter if I wanted to, right? Not my personal account, but everything it's all connected. I don't copy paste. I can text it, I can email that, everything is right here. You already got the idea about calling for questions, actually browsing to the website. That opens the Alfreda website, of City of Alfreda website. I don't go anywhere else, right? It's all here for us. So this is the city events, and by all means, this is one of the most powerful and the most visited category that we have in East My Town. That's what drives people to interact with the app on an ongoing basis. And they're already there. Now we're bringing the government here, right? The government in. City Hall happening. So those categories are created by the City of Alfreda. They decided how they want to communicate. If they have public hearings, I don't know, you guys record or you streamline, whatnot, but all those things that live somewhere online can be connected to the city app. So if people want to engage, if people want to hear from the city, if people want to be more involved, if you want them to hear about some of the stuff you're doing, so you would see that they're pushing all this information in real time. And whenever they're pushing information in real time, the city, so I can show you, even if the app is closed, I just closed all the stuff on my phone, so you see there's nothing on, But I'm showing you messages that the city of Alpharetta are actually just pushed the last few days, right? They closed some roads, they had an event. Normally I don't leverage mine, but look at this. If they're closing roads, as an example, and I will press, even the notification, the app is closed, right? I'm driving, I'm doing my stuff, the app is not even in use, but I'm showing you, if they put a website, so look what happens. I didn't open the app, it automatically opened the app, automatically opened the city website, which they, in that case, didn't have anything on. But that doesn't happen a lot. Alpharetta is really, they really, by the way, they really making sure that it's always there. Probably it's open. All right, but you got the idea of you don't need the app to work with an app in order to get the notifications and be involved with everything that's going on. All right, so this is the news. This is where they're basically letting us know. Next will be just local news. That was one of the requirements we had. So this is some of the, you know, it's my go-to. All things city go-to. That's the idea. Without a lot of effort, it's proactive, it's there, it's available. What about me sending stuff? Until now, I was talking about, you know, hearing what's going on. And I can also connect with mine. I'll show you the directory. I can send an email if I want to. So this is different than social media. Just post something, you don't know who it is, you don't know if it's serious, yes or no, you don't know what to do with that. Both ends, by all means. So here, I want to report something. I don't know, let's pick on the potholes. I don't know, I think it's road hazards, right? So I can now leverage the power of technology, right? We already talked about that pothole. I can use my camera and say, hey, that pothole is always a challenge for us. I can use the camera. This is the only place where if I want, I can put the email address or phone number just to be notified that the city took action based on my report, right? I can pick, and we've done a lot of things and to make this user-friendly. Even the numbers are big, you know, for people who doesn't wear their glasses like myself. I'm not getting any younger. I don't see things like I used to. And you see, here's the potholes. I was lucky today in this presentation. Look, it took me just a few seconds. I can report based on my location if I want to, or not. I can also enter an address if I wanted to. I can check what other cases are going on around me, or I can see the list of cases that I opened this year with the city hall for them to take care of. Next is really the city directory. Right? I don't know how many employees you guys got here, but some cities, they have 10, some cities have, some towns have 10, some cities have hundreds. I don't know who to speak with. Even if I work with some of them, I just don't know. We had a project in the house. Obviously, I didn't know exactly what I should do. So I just opened the entire thing on my mobile. I said something like, I can speak to it too. Build. I just got 3 numbers now. There you go. I actually emailed, this is a real story, he wanted to add a bedroom, whatnot. I got that guy, I sent an email. You see, I didn't put the address there, it's already there for me. I wrote, hey, I need to build a room. He said, I'll be your permit supervisor. Good stuff. That it can go faster than this, we can go more efficient than this, to my opinion. All right, and we have some stuff, we have some room for, from the mayor desk and the council. If they want to push from now and there, say something about they're doing about the developments in the city, about how they're serving their constituents, you guys, the community. So all these capabilities are in the app. It's simple. It's we have full control of our alerts. So as an example, if somebody doesn't want to hear certain things, I don't go to events. As an example, I can shut it off. I don't. If I do want to hear about new events, so I can actually turn it on. If I want to share the app with a friend because I love it, or I don't know, I think it's going to be very useful for them, should I just press and decide how? Share the app, I will text this to my friend, and the text is already written for me. All I need to do is to put a name there, and it's going to be submitted, for that person that I'm sending it to. All right, here, if you want to check Spanish, we can do that too. All right, that was a little bit about the app. I'm going to show you guys actually how we create all this magic, which is the back end, and I'm pretty much done. If you guys have any questions as I connect, I'm happy to answer, or you want to see it all first?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Who puts in on this data?
I beg your pardon?
Who puts in the data?
All right, so the business is good, very good question. So the businesses are automatic. No automatic, we're crawling the web. So basically, this is how we bring everything based on the location. But the city content is the city. It can be by either, depends on the city policy, city manager, council members, it's better of a policy. In some cities, I do see as an example, the events are being put there by Parks and Rec. The real-time alerts are being done by administration, right? And I'll show you in a minute, it's all segregated. So it means this is just my testing environment, right? But it means that if you're Parks and Rec, all you see is Park and Rec. Now you guys see all the different features because I'm presenting all the power of the platform for you. But it's segregated. It means that nobody sees what they don't need.
But
Now,
you've got to put it in, it's not taken off the web.
not the city, right? We don't generate the content for the city. The city generates the content. The only thing that the city brings in is really the content. They know first about the new project, the new equipment, and all that. So the city puts the content from that perspective.
In other words, if you want to go to Huddle House, that part's already in there.
And it also integrates with our websites that we already have.
That's what I was
Yeah,
wondering.
so like his links that he was showing before, it links over to the websites we already have that provide that information about the
So the
city.
information that's on our website is automatically transferred?
It links
It doesn't
to
have
it.
to be put in twice?
Right.
So the webmaster doesn't have to put it in?
No. It's integrated.
To more extent, we are even pushing stuff to the social media if you guys decide. So they don't need to do things more than twice, because now they're doing more than one time, just about website. If they want, I saw you guys are using Facebook. Somebody needs to go there and do it. The nice thing here is that the city now can pick and choose. And I'm showing you, this is the real-time mechanism, and this is my favorite part of this presentation. I can clone something I did before. Last night. Hello, the city. Hello hello, Cumming. Thank you for your time with me today. I can put the link here, which will redirect me to the city website, and I can decide that this real-time alert, right, is going to be pushed to Twitter and Facebook too. But I can decide it won't. It's just go to the city app. Now I have choices, right? So look at this. My phone, everything is off. There's nothing here. I will send it. I will be asked to confirm. Network's not me. Here you go. You heard the beep. It's here. It's here. Now I'll show you, because I just saw, because I'm me bridging between this and that, but I'll take the risk here. All right? All right, please. Behave. No, he's not gonna behave. All right. Yes. Here. All right. Yeah. Coming. All right. So I just got this. This is, well, it's not the city of Alpharetta, because I'm not sending it to thousands of people in Alpharetta now. This is my development environment, right? But I will press this new notification I just got, because as you see, the app is closed, right? I'll press this notification. Thank you very much for having us today.
I still got questions.
Go ahead. No, I was just saying. All right, go ahead.
Okay, you showed the Herald, and we have the Herald, and we have South County News. It takes that from their online newspaper?
Yeah, it's just a link.
A link,
It's
okay.
just a link.
What about Uber and Lyft?
We're integrated.
You must have it on the
If you have it on the phone, it will open Uber and Lyft for you. Good questions, man. All right, but just before, so I want to show you. You saw that the real-time alert came to my phone, right? But you guys remember that we also pushed it to. Here's Twitter, with a picture, with whatever, with a deep link and all the data is here, right? This is Twitter. Oh, that's Facebook. Sorry. You see, I'm a master of the social media. I'm 15 years cybersecurity. I have nothing personal on social media, and I know why. All right. So, but here's the post, and let's check if Twitter worked for us today, right? I just need to refresh. Here's the post, right? I want to go. So, I would say that's pretty powerful, right? All right. So that's this is just to show you, the real-time mechanism. Each city leverages that in a different way. If I want to create a park, I just created yesterday a park on my name. So, I dropped the Freeman, so I don't have any issues with the sheriff. I don't know if he liked that park or not. So this is how easy the platform is. I want to add an event. I can show you how easy it is. Depends who the city decides to go in here and push an event. But I can basically just add an event, and I can, even if I want to remind about an event like 2 days before it really happens. So I can use the this little bell here. You heard the beep. Notify. Directory. People are coming, people are leaving, chat, active directory. I don't know what you guys are using, but sometimes it's really a hurdle. But if you really want to use, the community stuff, you do it on the app. It's updated immediately, right? I can basically change things in real time, as I said. I guess from the perspective of the presentation, that's all I had for you guys. All the city has left to do, in our perspective, is really just to subscribe. Nothing technical here. You saw, and by the way, when we started, my 10 years old, she put the data in the portal. You saw how easy it is? It's really just about, I don't know, I want to add an event. It's just filling out the card. And the event is kind of bigger. By the way, I need a picture. Let's say we have a farmer's market. So we even protect the city from violating rights, right? So we can filter. And we can bring an image from, that's commercially free to use from Facebook, from my desktop, as the city staff. If I work in the communication department or whatnot, or Parks and Rec, you name it. So I can say farmers market. I'll search it. I found one. I love this picture. Oh, this one doesn't work for me. I'll take a different one. This one does. You see the system will really actually set the layout to sit nicely on the phone too. So there's a lot of brains and a lot of power behind the platform. I will upload the picture. Picture will come here. I'll fill up all the data and I'll push it out. I can decide, by the way, if I'm pushing something in real time or I'm just saving it because I want to let my manager just to go over and see what's going on before I'm actually publishing things out publicly. So it's my town. Basically, this is what we do. We brought the cities to mobile, where they can decide where and how. Because social media brings some also a part of us, the users, become privacy concerned. There's also matters of liability and stuff like that. I don't know.
Do you have any data from your current cities of which aspects of the app are used most frequently?
Yes, absolutely. By the way, this is the mayor talking. I don't know if you want to hear this? It's 30 seconds.
Sure.
This is, well, I need to, volume's there, so I don't know if you got the, I can
Try, you can
try.
get video messages.
Click the remote there.
This one?
We can start a
It'll be a
reality
busy
TV
camera
show.
crew.
I told you I left my eyes at home, but I mean, I'm like,
My minute was over.
But with so many great restaurants and concerts and special events in this town, the hard thing is how to keep up with it all. So the city uses a lot of tools to reach out to people like you and let you know what's going on. We use our website, we use social media, Facebook, and all of these things, including newsletters. Right now, I want to tell you about the newest tool to help you find out what's going on in the city of Alpharetta. We now have It's My Town smartphone app that you can download free from Apple and Android. It helps you keep Alpharetta in your pocket. So if you download It's My Town, you can get up-to-date information about the newest restaurants, the newest special events. If there's a road closure that could help your commute by avoiding it, you can get notifications even to help with that. So if you download It's My Town Alpharetta, you can keep the best of Alpharetta right in your pocket. Please download it now.
and for your question, the answer is we have we see aggregated data. As said, we're not collecting any personal data at all. but the traffic, for your question, people really engage with the events. Restaurants is big, and I can even share, I mean, I don't do that much, but I will do something that I normally don't. I'll show you, hold on, I'll show you the next gen, because we put a lot of, that's also a thing, right? Part of this thing is that the city doesn't need to take care of new version on Apple. We put about 60 improvements in the last year, all based on community feedback. What people wanted to have. Did I answer your question?
Yes, but I'll ask you something else. Okay, you've got this My Town app. When you go to that, and say you're wanting to call the police, and it's an emergency, how do you do that?
Don't go
It's-
to that.
Well, not
Hey,
Call
Linda.
911.
So we quarantine.
no, I'm just thinking, does it come up in different apps, or is it?
No, you just dial 911.
Where'd it go?
We can, by the way, but we don't want to.
We
We don't
just
want to
want
take
to
time
know
or
this is
process. Yeah, we do. No, but we have a different. So here's the thing. By the way, that's the next generation design. It's going to be even simpler, nicer. To our opinion, we researched, but this is what's coming. Now we're on the third generation. The fourth one is going to be even nicer. We collected what people are using the most, and we made nice buttons, like three-dimensional buttons out of that. So you see, like the event's really the main thing that moves people from one point to another. And so this is like the next gen, and constantly, remember, if you want to say something, you'll be able to push it to the app, and there's like a little icon if you decided to put your email there, so people can actually respond directly to you about things that you guys put out there. I hope I answered your question, and also kind of shared with you guys something that normally I don't.
Do you think we would need somebody full-time operating?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It depends on how you. I don't know if you guys do you guys have a communication someone, or you just the different departments and kind of spread it out.
She's right, it's right over there.
All right. That's where I'm cautious. I'm not getting into the local. Some cities, they'll let the communication department. Some cities they say, hey, why would I need to go and review all the what's in an event, right? If the Parks and Rec are generating that, why would you create more work to someone? It's really, and by the way, don't forget, it's the same time we're saving time that you already spend on Facebook, whatnot, because we just created. We might even say, the communication department, I know there are tools to try and consolidate. We just save you that money too, because basically you buy software in order to try and push to different social media nets, so you need to buy it. Here it's part of, we're already doing it.
So what's the cost?
Very good question.
The best question.
So, we price by the number of population, so we can serve.
We'll be low, man.
Well, here's the, so we can serve big, small as big, right? And basically cost is really very few cents a year per a person in your population. Now here's the
County
other part.
population or city population?
City.
No, city.
City.
City
Okay.
population. It's the city budget, right, from the tax money. So you see, and I'll say one more thing, Mayor. I asked myself, when I started this business, I said, would I spend that amount of cents a year, not a month even, to get all of this out of my tax money, right? This is the question before I decided I want to do it. If I would answer no, and trust me, I meet a lot of people. By the way, we've been featured on GMA. I'm not trying to bridge, like the Georgia Municipality Association. They see that this is like a next thing that brings speed and control, right? And control, because social media, I'm not being, I don't want to be too critic, but some things that belongs there, other things might not belong there. So it really brings it all together. So hopefully I answered your questions by the number of population, and it's really
So a few cents is 2 cents.
Is that, I don't know I don't carry the price list with me, but it's as said, it's really affordable for, we built it the way it doesn't just serve the city of Atlanta or or Fulton County. By all means, it's definitely affordable. And it's not me talking out of, it's cents a year per person in your population. And by all means, it also addresses visitors, right? Because people doesn't now need to register. So you get a lot of people now, if they have any interest to know what's going on here in the city of Cumming, you just got them too. And we see that.
So, because here's my question. City of Cumming's got a little over 6,000 residents. So we're gonna pay a few cents per year for 6,000 something residents.
That's
We're 3 million under budget last year. This is why. So,
I'll be more than honored to show how we connect. I do think we save time and money to engage with our community in real time. So if we're really looking to the future, I have no doubt in my mind that the way we price It's My Town platform,
You're still gonna have to give us a surprise.
I will. I would just rather not, shooting numbers here in the public session. It will not be professional on my part. So.
Let me ask you this. If you're a citizen of the county and you hear about this and you wanna download it, can you?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Linda, look,
That increased our number of people that we have.
No, but we
Linda.
don't count it.
Linda, I want to thank Ron for coming out, and I probably should have introduced him. Today's the first day I met him. I came across him in, I don't know if it was a GMA or this magazine here, and I came across it. I've got It's My Town on my phone, the Alfreda app, because I wanted to see how it operated before I ever reached out to Ron.
Right.
And whether or not we go with it, I think this is the way to reach out to our community and have everybody involved, because the easier you make things for people, the more participate, the happier I think people will be. We want people to show up to our events. Not everybody's on Facebook. My wife's not on Facebook. So, it gets.
I go once a week.
Well, I know,
I
but
mean, who knows?
I'm just saying it does push the alerts to you. I don't know price. Like I said, today's the first time I met Ron. I have spoken to him on the phone, but it
I like
works.
it.
And the idea is,
saying, once people find out you got it, everybody's gonna want to be on it. And other people will get the app, but we don't have to pay for them.
right.
No,
Alfred is not paying for me having their app.
Awesome.
no, the number of your population is a set number.
so if you download It's My Town app, right, and you live
I think it is.
you live here, and I drive to Alpharetta, is it gonna pull up Alpharetta's info, or is it gonna pull up?
Very good question, Mayor. It's My Town is served in, I don't want to, two different mechanisms. Alpharetta case, not now, might be next year, because they're probably moving to the new way. The new way, the way we built it, it will be able to tell you, in your example, if City of Alpharetta is a customer, let's say yes, if you decided on your settings that you want to know about that, so you're going to be notified, you will be able to push the button, and it will switch all the data to Alpharetta for you. This is the design I just showed with you guys. Currently, Alpharetta has their own thing going in the Alpharetta case, but this is where everything goes. And they already showed, expressed interest, of course, because we're a small metro. So I do see people coming from, we see the traffic, we don't know who the people are, but we see a lot of people coming from, our farmers markets, well, no, I mean, they're
But the restaurants and
See,
stuff.
restaurants.
The restaurants you're integrated with those based on your location.
Correct.
So that's why I was pulling up the restaurants around
Correct.
here, not Alpharetta's. But
Correct.
like that, Alpharetta content was just on that app.
Correct. At the parks, the city content's on the app.
But you said you're building where you can switch between cities to
Correct.
get their content, whatever they're pushing.
So this, correct, good point. By the way, we got an email, funny thing is, I got another email, I think it was on the App Store or something like that. We got an incoming, kind of feedback from someone saying, hey, It's My Town just saved us. I don't know, family. They were in Madrid, like the Spain, Madrid, right, in Europe. And they didn't know where to go, for dinner. And they said, the guy thought about, it was like, he used It's My Town. It brought all the restaurants in Madrid. So the city content is always gonna be Cumming, the city of Cumming. But businesses and stuff, because we didn't wanna, obviously, you cannot manually manage all these changes. If the store down the street changed their phone number, if they put it somewhere on the web, we get them. So you don't need to worry about that. And this is why we didn't block, because we could also border, because in the public safety, and I see Chief of Police here, sir, we are actually enforcing jurisdiction too. So if somebody is under, the chief's jurisdiction, he will take care of, whatever comes in, right, if it's within his jurisdiction. But if not, so we have like a dialogue that says, unfortunately, you're not in the city of Cumming jurisdiction. So we could do that, but for your question, and I hope I answered, so next generation is going to notify between different locations, and I just gave you another use case, an actual story that we got on the feedback website or the app stores, I can't recall where, but that was interesting to me, how people think, I see we see traffic in one of these cases, by the way, here's a good story for you. I got the parents-in-law, obviously you guys don't be polite, you hear by my accent, I won't give it away. But, they come and park in my basement like 6 weeks every year, right? They just park there. Year number 1 was terrible. I need to drive them everywhere. Now, just download the app, man. I got father-in-law an Uber account. He download the app, they go, they shop, they dine, they come back with plastic bags for the girls. Done.
So you can set the boundaries of the city
I can.
in the app. The reason I say that is where people can take a picture of, here's a pothole. Well, so many people think they live in Cumming, but they don't.
No, I'll show you. It's already in the app. If I'll try to submit now to Alfreda, it will, if I'm using my address, my location, I can show you. It will say, it will pull up and say, you're out of jurisdiction. Unfortunately, the city of Alfreda cannot serve you. It's already there. It's already there. So if I really want to submit to Alfreda, I need to enter. If I'm here, I need to enter an address. And also we allow the opportunity or the option to enter address, because sometimes you're driving. You don't want to take a picture and drive it all together. But you drive through the street, there's something need to be taken care of. You got to somewhere safe, and you just, you can either speak, as you see, you can speak to the app. It will, just like, because we're leveraging, the mobile capabilities like voice to text as an example. By the way, future plans, I'll share more stuff with you guys. Hey, that guy writes everything, don't write that. There you go. But currently, we're building some smarter, even smarter. We do a lot of things very smart, but we're now enhancing some Siri capabilities. We're looking at Alexa. So we do, because you're going to already talk to the app, but there's a difference if you can customize stuff. So we're really taking that places, and I'm involved with, smart city solutions, multiple grants and stuff like that. So for your question, jurisdiction is definitely there already. And mostly because of we have a public safety stuff. And you asked a question about public safety, I would like to address that too. Depends how the city sees it. We can bring public safety stuff there, because for me to report to the chief here a crime tip, it's just the same mechanism in the back end, just like reporting a pothole. If you like. And I would say that publicly, I got you. Certain things are not, my opinion, that doesn't belong to It's My Town. And I'll give you an example. I'm not sure that putting, and it's a city decision, but putting like I'll put it in nice words, chief, help me out here. The list of offenders on It's My doesn't live there. So we have a public safety app for that, or a platform for that. But most of the stuff, like the kiosks, permits, stuff like that, definitely we can, City of already looking at that. So we can bring, so we created requirements like 85% from public safety, and we have public safety, we have like the fire services, EMS, all other, John Robinson, and 85% can be there, but it's really the city's decision. Hopefully I answered your question.
Yep.
All right, sir. Any more questions? All right, I hope you like it. Thank you very much for,
If you can get if you can get a proposal together for Phil.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was 48 hours work. That's fast enough.
Yeah, that'll work.
48 hours. I'll serve it to,
Send it to me.
right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you,
Thanks.
council members and the community of City of Cumming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Shad, for making this happen. All right, I'll reconnect your stuff here.
I'll take care of it later, thank you.
All right.
I just wanted.
Next is item B, administration amendment to downtown development area map.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. This is a resolution to amend the downtown development area of the Downtown Development Authority. As you all remember, in December, the council approved and basically activated, couldn't think of the word for a second, activated the Downtown Development Authority. The council has the ability to modify that area. So since the time that the DDA was enacted, the city has annexed additional property and that's connected to the city center. So this resolution would increase the size of the Downtown Development Authority area to include that portion, which you can actually see in your packet, the highlighted portion, that's Exhibit 1. That's the area that's being added to the current map of the downtown development area. This does not need to be approved by the DDA, just by the mayor and council. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah. This is like what we annexed to finish up the city center property.
Okay.
The back part of that, 14th, 15th Street. It was all surrounded by the DDA's area, but that technically wasn't in it when we passed it, because it wasn't in the city at that time.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment to the PDA area map.
Second.
Please vote. Carries 4-0. Next is item C, planning and zoning, the alcohol license for Big D's Barbecue.
Good evening. The department received an application from Big D's Barbecue. They've met all the requirements, submitted all the paperwork. So they're just, hopefully, I think they're planning on opening in the next couple weeks, but all the requirements for the alcohol application they've met. There's been no issues with it, no issues with the applicant background check come back, so recommend approval.
Couple weeks, they said? Man, it looked like they were doing pretty heavy remediation.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, they come in and did the diagram for the sign and stuff they dropped off today. I don't know, you know, I think there's been some, Everett's had some communication with them. I don't know if Scott has had any communication with them, but.
They still have yet to get a certificate of occupancy, to get that. That's what we're doing.
What I want to bring up to the council is Big D's paid for an alcohol license a year ago. They've not been open, so I'd like to ask for the council to waive their fee for this renewal, just because they've been there for a year. They paid the money. They've had a lot of problems trying to get opened up, and so that would be my request to the council, is to waive the fee for this year. Because we collected it a year ago, and they've not been open. An entire year has passed, so. And they would have to open within 30 days of y'all approving the license, or it's null and void, so.
So this isn't a renewal, this is for a new one?
Yeah, well,
It's technically a new one because they didn't open within 30 days of the last one,
yeah, the
so
way
it
the
goes
ordinance
null and
reads.
void, null and
The
void.
ordinance reads they had to go like it was a brand new one because the old one got forfeited because they weren't able to open. So they actually went through the whole process again, advertised signs, we had to put the legal ads in and everything, so just like a brand new application.
Well, I'll make a motion that we waive the fee.
And approve the
And
license.
approve the license.
No, second,
Second.
please vote.
For you.
Carries 4-0. I just want more barbecue.
They need to open.
Next is item D, the Sinclair Station lease. It's-
Can you present this, Mr. Mayor?
Yep,
You have, you don't have this in the packet, this is an add-on for tonight. We have a lease for your consideration for the Sinclair Station. The lease for consideration would be, for the Sinclair Station to be leased to, Cumming Cigar LLC. The purpose of Cumming Cigar LLC's lease would be to operate a cigar shop in there that would also, pursuant to the city Cumming alcohol ordinance, be eligible to serve beer and wine. The lease term would be for 1 year, although I think that they've requested that the lease term not start until August. Is that correct?
I think July 1st.
July 1st,
Yeah.
as opposed to beginning on June 1st. The fixed rental will be for $1,325 due in full on the first day of each month. There is an option to renew. The city also has an option to not renew.
Why do we let them have beer and wine when there's no food?
Well, because the ordinance that we passed well, it's not a question of do we let them have it. The ordinance that was passed last month allows that now. If it's a cigar shop, that is an
We need to work
exception
on that.
to the,
Because I don't think you should have beer or wine anywhere that you don't have food.
Didn't a certain percentage of their sales have to come from
non-alcohol, yes.
non-alcohol?
Non-alcohol.
So they're mainly selling the cigars.
Right. And this is what we approved last month. And that was one of the provisions of the ordinance that was approved.
It's just one fault for
But
nothing.
there's a lot of breweries and distilleries that are really cool, and they're connected to restaurants and involved with, share space with, but don't necessarily, the brewery don't wanna run a restaurant. So somebody else, you know what I'm saying? So it's, I don't know that it's something that,
I will point out that in the special stipulations for this lease, we were very careful to make sure that, typically in a lease like this, you have a provision that allows for ordinary wear and tear. Ordinary wear and tear of a cigar shop is gonna be potentially pretty rough on a building like the Sinclair Station. Ordinary wear and tear was removed. It has to be returned exactly to the condition that it was in the day the lease starts. So, if it has to be repainted and sealed and all that sort of stuff to get smoke odors out and those sorts of things, that's what this tenant's going to have to do. It's far and above and beyond what we typically deal with in most lease situations. I know that there have been some concern about that potential issue, and so that is how we dealt with that. And I don't have any questions besides those questions. That's what leases.
is the potential tenants in the lease, or is this?
They have. They have some of the lease and they're fine with the lease. The tenant needs to get the lease, the reason for the add-on is because the tenant needs to get the lease finalized so they can start proceeding with their location, when it comes to the state licensing requirement. They have to have a permanent location. They don't have a permanent location until they have a lease in place. So if we're going to do it,
I don't think that's a good place for us, for all that smoke for a cigar shop. I just don't.
I'm just presenting a lease to you.
I'm just saying, I just think that is,
Why not?
why would you want smoke in any building you own? And that one is kind of historical. I just, I
It's
just
just
don't think that's,
like it does.
Were,
I'd rather sit there than smoke shop.
were you, I can't remember, were you here when we discussed it the first time and decided to
Yeah.
do the lease?
But the first time, that first lease.
I was just wondering, I didn't know.
At first lease, it was gonna be, photography, and now.
Right,
they
you're right.
fell
And we
for
talked
everything
about the
else.
cigar shop.
I actually think it's pretty cool. There's one next to, what's the barbecue shop in 20?
Q.
Looks pretty cool in there,
But, it's not like there's smoke billowing out of it.
yeah.
You probably don't, well,
I wonder if
I
they
can't say I
have
haven't
any,
been in
like,
there. You
special
probably smell the
edition.
tobacco, but
Man, I don't care.
Well, no, I'm not gonna, say I'm the only one that wouldn't want the smoke shop. I just I just hate to see that particular building become a smoke shop, because, I don't know. It's just so neat.
So,
I guess they're not here, obviously, but I see it being more just, kind of end up being more like a lounge, kind of a hangout. I see, it's nice to see it get used for something, and it's only a year lease, and they do have to put it back as it was the day they walked in there, when the lease is done. So if we,
can you do that?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I've built houses back that caught on fire. You don't smell the smoke when you get done, so
That's true.
it's worse than a cigar shop.
Well, do you all want to see the lease before we take action, or you know, you'll do it? We basically talked about the basic terms, didn't we talk about rent before?
1345.
Was that what that was?
Was there anything different than normal leasing?
The fact that normal wear and tear is not accepted.
And we can
That's
terminate the lease after the year.
Yes, yes.
and they agreed to have parking across. Didn't we have some discussion about
How much
that?
parking do they have, because that affects the Bell Research Center?
They have, they share the parking lot with the Bell Research Center. I've talked to both parties about that, and they know that we're gonna go out and stripe the parking lot. There's still not gonna be a ton of spaces, and they both know to instruct their patrons to go and use the parking deck.
Probably that'd be used more at night when the Bell Center's closed.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. And, you know, I don't know what their hours of operation, exact hours of operation will be, but I can't see it being a conflict with each other.
Right.
So, and we've notified the courthouse, the sheriff's office, the county administration building, that parking is no longer gonna be, open just for anyone and everyone. That it will be dedicated to the leaseholders of the Bell Research Center and the Sinclair Station.
Well, the signage.
We put signs up now, letting people know that space is dedicated for the patrons of those two addresses.
Signage for the parking or signage for the
Signage
business?
for the business.
But the business will have to, if they intend to enforce their parking, they will have to put signs out, and they both know that.
He means the sign for the business
Oh,
itself.
okay.
The sign for the
I
business
thought you meant the parking signs, yeah.
has to be in line
Okay.
with the historical character of the building, and it has to be specifically approved by the city to match that. So I don't know if they're gonna have a dinosaur smoking a cigar or not.
Any other questions?
Mr. Earl, what's your thoughts on that?
I'd just love to see it get used for something. You know?
Worst
We
case,
didn't
if we
have-
don't like it after a year, we say we don't want to renew the lease.
Did we, yeah, we didn't, we got an
The
email
what?
from-
This week.
got an
Film.
email from this week, did you see that?
About,
Movie props or, did
maybe somebody wanting to
you see that?
do
Yeah.
movies out of,
That's up to you guys.
Do we want to,
We're kinda going down the same path we did with the Playhouse. It sat there forever, and then, somebody goes to do
So-
something, and then somebody else pops up, well, I wanna do it, well, I
So we're
wanna do it,
looking now
you
for
know?
a motion to, what are we,
well, I
where are
guess
we
this
at right
guy
now?
was first.
It depends on what you want to do. If you want to approve this lease, then we need a motion to approve the lease agreement with Cigar Store.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the lease agreement.
I'll second.
Please vote. Carries 4-0. Next on the agenda is item E, Pine Lake Drive, speed control measures. I'm not gonna repeat the things that's been said on social media. Jason and I actually live on Pine Lake. Jason lives in there.
I live on Hickory, so I don't get.
Well, they think to slow people down, let's
People
put
are
a cable
flying.
across, windshield
It's-
high, and they said it'd be a quick
It's-
and painless
well, it's-
death, you
it's
know?
bad, people driving through there.
It just, Pine Lake Drive's a
And it
cut,
escalated from there, yeah.
yeah,
Spike strips.
Yeah, spike strips. It might have been a councilman that, suggested that. I don't remember, it's foggy, but, Pine Lake Drive's a cut through to Greenwood Acres. It's a 25-mile-an-hour speed zone. We do have younger families in there now with kids, and, people are asking, can I put a fence up at the curb so my kids don't get run over? And it's, the chief's put, speed trailer I know over there several times. It'll work while it's there, or I think it does, I don't know. What's the numbers?
They patrol through.
No, I'm
they-
saying, do you wanna put in
Like
speed?
11,
things?
12 over is what?
That's been some discussion
Like the
on speed
average.
tables.
But I know that, me and my wife were out walking, talking to neighbors at a four-way stop, and this is the second time I've been at their house standing in their yard when somebody ran through, at my guess, 50 miles an hour, double the speed limit, and blow right through a four-way stop. It's just,
Where my house is, I'll be out in my backyard with my dogs. I have a direct view of that four-way stop. 75% of people don't stop there.
it's just,
I
so,
don't,
kind
can't
of,
stop everybody, but
and I-
That'll stop it.
I talked with the engineer, he's gonna let me know something tomorrow about, there used to be a three-way stop at Hickory Knoll. It was gone before I moved over there, I don't know why it got removed, but looking in to see if we could put one there, a three-way stop back, that would, if they would stop at the stop sign, that would slow speed down. But the other thing to look into is speed tables, I'm not a fan of speed bumps,
Well, you put them in at the stop sign over, what's Cross Road?
Perklewood.
Kirkwood. You
Yeah.
put them in there and you gotta stop.
Yeah.
Dang, tear your car
Yeah.
up if you don't stop.
But a speed table, there you're coming to a stop. This is a straight-through road. If somebody decides to run over them at 30 miles an hour at 3 a.m., the neighbor's gonna be sitting there complaining, they're hearing ba-boom, ba-boom, The speed table is the angled up, flat top, angles back down. So I would this is not anything to vote on, we don't have numbers, but I'd like to pursue, getting a quote, to add some speed tables, and then if the engineer thinks that we can, add that three-way stop back in to, and if all that stuff doesn't work, then maybe it's spike strips and cables, I don't know, but,
who gets to press the button for
Put a
those?
couple of
I don't want the
roundabouts.
chief getting a call that a neighbor's, shot somebody's car for speeding.
I'm worried about there being altercations.
But it's
Might
just,
get hit.
I think a roundabout.
Whoever designed that one from Costco can come do it. Yeah, I know.
the one thought would be to put a turnaround at, put a cul-de-sac at the city limits, and then that would stop all the, I don't think that'd go over very well.
No.
But anyway, I just wanted to kind of talk about it and, let y'all know we're gonna get some prices together and come back to you. But it's the same thing, we hear on some other kind of cut-through streets in the city, others we've put speed bumps and that kind of stuff, and this one's just several long straightaways that people, for whatever reason,
I'd encourage you to get some, maybe you have gotten all the input you need or want, but.
they did a
I know
poll.
somebody just asked for speed tables on my road, I really don't think they get people, that's every once in a while, but I don't. Somebody-
And they fly
I
through
would
there.
not want speed
We
bumps,
wouldn't
speed
want it.
tables, or anything on my road.
They did a poll, how scientific you want to be, but in the neighborhood Facebook page, and it was 15 yes, 3 no. I didn't vote, my wife didn't vote, I'm just saying that was the numbers.
Well, it just save you-
Jason didn't vote,
it'll
it
just
was,
save you everybody fussing at you.
I just wouldn't feel good if something happened to a little kid, and I said, you know what, we could have done something, and then we didn't. And that's the consequence, I don't want that on me,
For the people that live on the
So-
road, I think they're the ones that should make the decision.
I don't live on that road, but
But I'm saying, if you do want some kind of a
yeah, he
speed
does.
thing, I think that's kind of the decision that kind of gauge from your neighbors and everybody at them.
It's, the people living on that road want it. I mean, some have said, you can put it right in front of my house.
Well, see,
You know.
if they do, then that's what I do.
They're
I wouldn't
just,
care about the other people.
They're just, it's an issue. But moving on, upcoming events, we got Fridays at the Fairgrounds, May 17th, from 5 to 10. Memorial Day ceremonies, May 24th at 11. For South Central High's graduations, May 25th at 10. I don't think we have a need for executive session. Have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Please vote. Carries 4-0. Thanks everyone for coming.
I got a pothole